Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to Rev Talk, episode 3 by Revners, partnered by CHA Jaipur, Acro Hospitality and Leisure India Holidays. It's my immense pleasure to welcome you all once in this great session, which not only is going to give us knowledge, but will also we'll be going to share a lot of experiences. We all have seen that human resources department has gone from the traditional hire and fire. Everyone feels that it's only hiring and firing. This is the only job of HR, but no, that's not true. HR department, I'm sure people who have not entered the industry or are freshers in the industry may realize this later when they become managers or reach to a certain level. They will realize that HR department has many other responsibilities and strategies also to cover for the company. Employee satisfaction, employee engagement, employee payrolls, and there are many things which we don't even think of, right? So a team taking the entire, I'm sure many of them have seen a video which we played just now before the session started, and even it's there on YouTube who have not seen, which gives you a brief idea about human resources, the key roles. But living that is altogether a different thing. I know personally one person in my life who has been a great mentor for me. Ms. Neeta ma'am is an accomplished hospitality professional with almost more than 3 decades of experience, which includes her entrepreneurial experience in strategic HR management consultancy. She has done her graduation from XLRI Jamshedpur, which I'm sure many of us know about. That is one of the top ranked institutions for human resources and labor laws. I would also like to update you guys that during her 3 decades of experience, she has been associated with some of the leading hotel brands like Hyatt International, Sterling Holidays, The Oberoi's, Carlson, Radisson, IHG, which is Intercontinental Hotels Group. Presently, Neeta ma'am is working with Lalit Group of Hotels as General Manager, Corporate Human Resources. She's happily married, blessed with 2 sons. So Neeta ma'am, welcome to Revners first of all. Ma'am, we have done a survey. So before starting the session, I would like you to just give you a brief about the survey. The survey we did was just to ask the participants and the people who are there during the session to let us know what specific discussion would they like to hear about. So the maximum percentage which we got was either from on career development or employability post COVID-19. Secondly, we also did one survey asking that how is your career affected with COVID-19. So definitely we all know, there is no doubt, everyone knows the answer, which is loss of job or either pay cut. So we'll be definitely discussing about this and Harsha will be taking around all the questions and everything. But before that, we just have a surprise for you. There are few people who you have motivated, like many, but we chose top 3 because of the time limitation. We had only 3. We have chosen that maximum 3 people will show those messages. There were many people who connected with us, wanted to share messages for you. So I'm sure you'll like the surprise, ma'am.
Hi, it is truly said that your first boss has the maximum impact on your career journey, and lucky for me, it was Miss Ballooni. My first boss, my mentor, my leader, the leader who has been there through thick and thin, the leader who I look up to till date and would want to be like someday, the leader who I go for the smallest of things for till date. Thank you, ma'am, for being there. Working under your wing has not only taught me the basics of the organization, it has also taught me the smallest, kindest gestures that you can do for somebody that has the biggest impact. Thank you so much, ma'am, and I hope to learn and keep learning from you.
Welcome, viewers. Myself, Ravi Sharma. It is an immense pleasure of mine to introduce Neeta Ballooni. Neeta Ballooni, soft at heart, but with a very assertive approach. Neeta Ballooni has been a leader leading the team and converting desired goals to reality. I met her first time in 2004. She was looking after Radisson MBD as a pre-opening HR head. Since that time, I know Nita Baluni has been soaring to the heights which is recognizable in our fraternity. I would like to say she is a lady, humble at the same time she is cold as an iron lady. Thank you very much for everyone.
Hi, good morning. Today I'm going to talk about Nita ma'am. Nita ma'am to me is an epitome of honesty, integrity, wonderful blend of religion and professionalism. She comes across as a strong personality, both when it comes to profession and in personal life. I have known her closely for a couple of years during my stint with IHG, and I still feel that every time I talk to her, there's so much to learn. Thank you so much, Nita ma'am, for showing the right way and always standing by me. Thank you so much.
We'll move to the next question, where I would want to know, so like in HR, planning, presentation and flexibility, all three are very essential. So how all the HR managers should balance all this in time, and how to hire, I mean, how we can hire the right talent after this COVID-19 situation?
So, Harsha, actually, hiring, I don't think so is a concern at this point of time, or is anywhere on any HR head's mind currently in the given situation. Because unfortunately, in majority of the organizations, and as I said, in hospitality, it's a freeze. Hiring is a complete freeze right now. But what we can do in terms of our people and our team is that with the given new normals, there are a lot of SOPs and standards which have changed. The like for example, a contactless service when it comes to the guest. Be it a mobile key, be it a mobile check-in. Even at the concierge, the guest today will not expect you to pick up the luggage. They would want to take it on their own. So many services or roles probably may get redundant, at least for the time being. And for the guest and even for our team members, I think paramount will be health and safety. So, what measures the organizations are taking in regard to that, both for the customers, creating a secure environment, and for the team members that they feel secured working in a hotel. Because you would have all kind of guests who are working in. Currently, as we speak at the Lalit, we have we are catering to the doctors, even for Lalit Delhi and Lalit Mumbai. Currently, we are serving the COVID warriors, and that's a matter of pride for the for our industry. There will be limited roles which can work from home, and certain guest-facing areas. I think we will still not have any choice. So, in the given times when the hotels are completely shut, I think I would say safely about 70% is not really engaged in doing anything as of now, and they have the time to probably focus on themselves. But the rest 30% who are working from home, it's not easy, trust me, because home is equally demanding for an individual. Because the time becomes fluid, and there are no timelines. The boss expects you to be available all times. At home, your family, be it your husband, your children, your parents, they feel that you are at home, so then you would be doing everything while you're around. And especially when you are on Zoom calls, and suddenly from the background you will hear some noise or the other, and you feel embarrassed. But so be it, that is life. So I guess even the management should understand that um, uh, the office space is eaten into our residences. So some bit of the complete professionalism will not be possible. So that bit of flexibility has to be both ways. However, I think this will be a new normal, And going forward, there will be many roles which will be crafted, and HR will become not only HR, I guess our industry will become far more flexible in terms of, even in terms of employment contracts. So it's rather than a full-time contract, there will be many opportunities wherein we would be now looking at hourly wages or part-timers, somebody who's willing only to work 10-15 days. So there will be a lot of flexibility available. So I guess from an optimism point of view for the people, if you are flexible and you want to engage yourself in two different places, etc., I'm sure our industry will be far more welcoming now in the given situation.
Very rightly said, ma'am, because when we work in the offices, so obviously our entire concentration is on the
Is
work,
only
on
office,
the
correct.
people around. But then when we are doing similar tasks, being at home or at any other remote location, so that becomes a little difficult. So now we'll be moving to the next question, where I realized, like, I have heard this a lot, that initially people they used to join a hotel or any offices, and they used to remain there for years, maybe more than 5 years. So their stability was very good. But now people are not stable, and the attrition ratio has gone up, and people just switch their jobs within a year or maybe or so. So what brings
So what I primarily think is because initially we didn't have that many options also. So I guess I mean, you are today's generation, but if I talk of my generation, there were only limited hotel companies which were there. And that was one. Second was, what is the culture of the organization that you are working in? So what motivates an individual? There are multiple factors because of which an employee chooses to continue in an organization. But I would personally say there is no right or wrong. It is entirely an individual's choice whether as long as I'm motivated and I feel that I am challenged enough to handle this responsibility and role that I am in, one would continue to work. The day the person is switched off for whatever reasons, and Harsha, the motivating factors for every individual are different. For some, money is a motivator. For some, I guess the work culture is a motivator. For some, it is learning and development. Some want promotions every few months. Some get, especially today's younger generation, they get bogged down by doing that same work again and again. So, as an organization, am I capable enough to give you new roles, new assignment, new projects? Every time it is not possible, but can the flexibility be there? So I would say as leaders, we need to identify what is the motivator for my team member, my immediate team, and similarly, all managers need to do that. And we need to help and nurture the individual. Some value respect and dignity, So there is a lot of mix or factors, I would say, that determines the loyalty. As I said, yes, in our times, because the options were less, and probably the desires were being met with the organization that they were working with, they chose to carry on. But in today's time, I think today's generation is far more focused. They're very clear what they want. In our times, we were happy that we had a job, a secure job, and we were getting money. But in today's time, they're more focused as to what their needs are. Some are very, very concerned about their work-life balance. Majority of the attrition analysis that we have done is primarily because of the work-life balance. People move on. So, so there are varied factors here. I don't know whether I've answered your question there, but that's what I feel of today's generation.
No, that's you rightly said that earlier the options were less, and now every year we, any 5-star property or any hotels comes up. So that's
Correct.
the reason people have got distracted, and they, just because of 500 or 1000, or maybe just because of couple of monetary benefit things, they switch to another property very easily. So yeah,
I mean,
I
not just money. I mean, it could be whatever reason. I mean, somebody
yeah,
could be just
it
fed up with
can
the
be
boss.
environment or
Somebody could just be fed up with the environment, or the role that the person is doing. But the individual knows what I want, and if my desires are not being met with the organization, people do move on.
absolutely right. So yes, the same answer I was looking, because people normally ask, like, why people switch the organization, what best practices we can, uh, uh, cater them. So yes, you rightly said, first of all the environment, and then the competition coming in every day. So that's the another reason
And
that
and probably, if I may just add on here, is that length of service is no longer a criteria, or to say that you are more competent if the length of service is there. Yeah.
right.
uh, it purely depends. I have worked in organization for 8, 8, 9 years, and as long as I am growing in that organization, it doesn't bother whether it is 8 years, 13 years, 15 years, 30 years. I mean, in Lalit, I have many employees, team members who have done 30 years plus with the organization, and we still value their support. Yeah.
Right.
But
Right.
I mean, if an individual feels that I am not contributing to the organization, I guess that is the time the person decides to move on.
Right. So I'm adding another question to this one. So communication is another challenge people face, right? So there are employees who are not comfortable in communicating their point of view, their opinion, and they don't share anything with the HRs or with their managers or their peers. So like what best how HR can, identify whether a person wants to say something or they are facing any challenges. So what ability HR should have to identify those things?
That's a real tough question, Asha, I would say, because communication is indeed one of the biggest challenge. Whatever techniques, technology, etc., that one may apply, yet, and however progressive the organization may be, yet communication at every strategy meet will be the first point that this is the biggest challenge in our organization. And I'm saying across organization, I have had an opportunity. This is my 8th company that I'm working for, but everywhere I felt there is a challenge. So in my 3 decades of experience, I think communication is one piece which becomes very difficult to manage. However, I mean, if it's a grapevine, it spreads like anything.
Right.
So when gossip needs to spread, and it automatically goes through. But if you want to communicate a new policy, you want to communicate a new direction, uh, even if you have done it through written communication, verbal communication, your town halls, your one-to-one meetings, etc., etc., yet there will be, that like a Chinese whisper, what you start with and where the conversation ends, or what the consumer is understanding is completely different. Nonetheless, I think the other point, or the other part of your question is that, when employees feeling that, I wish to communicate, but they are not getting that confidence and trust with the manager. So here I would say is that, one, of course, the manager or the immediate supervisor should engage in more, informal chats with the employee, should know more about the employee, even not only professionally but personally, and how the individual wishes to grow. So as long as, so supposing it's you, so if I know you better, Harsha, I know, what are your personal goals, what are your professional goals, and if I, as your immediate manager, can help you on that, and can probably show you the way to grow and work on those. I'm sure automatically the trust will start building in. So as long as the communication is transparent, and at times when the employees are sharing their personal goals and personal concerns, are the managers really keeping that confidential? Because certain leaders fail there because they generally tend to speak to somebody else that, this is what so and so was saying, and that is where the betrayal of trust comes in. So, as leaders and managers, we need to build that trust with our team members. We need to be transparent. We don't need to be vindictive. Even if the employee says that, uh, this is it, I want to move on. Supposing the employee says that. So you don't immediately switch off and, you try and understand why the person wants to move on. And if as an organization you can help in giving what the person is looking for, then you find ways and means of assisting the employee. If you can't, then you help the person move out in a manner that the individual is happy. At the end of the day, if my team members are growing, that will give happiness to me only, right? So that is one I would say. Another good thing, again, I'm just referring to my current organization, the Lalit. Here, what we have is we have a psychologist on panel, and in case of any mental health, in case of any personal issues or stress that an employee is looking for a counseling, so we have a professional available. He's free of cost. An employee can reach out to the individual, and it is completely the entire process is online and completely confidential. So even the immediate manager would not get to know that my employee or team member has approached the counselor, and he can get the professional help there. Especially in today's time when you don't have much to do, you're sitting at home and there is no work. कहते हैं ना खाली दिमाग शैतान का घर. So so at this point of time, if there is anything that is bothering you, feel free to call the counselor and you can seek help. In fact, the counselor is available to the outside world also and not just restricted to the Lalit. But yes, our employees definitely get the privilege to reaching out to the counselor.
People have become so stressed during this lockdown, and you rightly said that we don't have more things to do. Earlier we used to go to office, and then there were a lot of scope to go out, meet friends, and chit chat personally with people. But now we have been restricted with the digital platform or the
Correct.
gadgets. So yes, so this option to connect with a psychologist and discussing your issues and problems with them can resolve the problem.
Correct.
Okay, so in HR, I think almost all the questions are interconnected. So my next question is, so like there are times when colleague faces uh, the personal and the professional problems and challenges in their personal life and in their professional lives, and that somehow affect the productivity. So how HR professional to address the same?
So again, I think we don't have to be mechanical. We need to be human. I mean, these days on LinkedIn, a post is being shared, and I'm sure few of you would have read that one manager is caught sleeping on the desk, and the his boss goes to HR and says that I want to take immediate action on him, that he's found sleeping on the desk during the work hours. And the HR manager just turns around and says, but just about 15 days back, you had laddus which he brought. And the manager says, what's the point? So he said, you've forgotten that he's been blessed with a child. And obviously, because of that, he's getting sleepless nights. So if the individual is getting sleepless nights, and if as an immediate manager, I can't even appreciate that and accommodate this much, then I think there is a problem. So Harsha, and more so now, I think when things are going to get tougher and tougher, I think the human factor definitely needs to come in, and majority do that. So I won't say that majority are on the other side. Majority are on the right side of the fence, wherein we do take care of our employees and their personal needs and frustration. So whether it is in terms of flexibility of hours, flexibility of work hours, that these kind of requests are also taken care of. Like a mother, who has a small child, probably maybe is not comfortable in starting early in the morning. So we reschedule the time, and so that it suits her convenience. And maybe a youngster wants to get relieved in the evening, wants to get relieved earlier. Somebody is a party goer or whatever. I mean, those kind of flexibilities and adjustments, if you can make, I think will definitely bring in a healthy culture.
Right. So, what is your opinion on, like, how should one stay inspired creating success?
Oh.
I know
um,
you are the biggest inspiration to, all the people you have worked with, but then still want to know it from you.
Here, I think what I would say is that success is very subjective. So what is success to me, it may not be success to you. For somebody, or if I just take my example, I think for me, being happy is being successful. And for me to be happy, I need to be doing something worthwhile at my workplace and at my family front. So that keeps me motivated and happy. And if I am happy, I feel I'm successful and I've achieved my day. And so the success remains. But for the young ones who are starting a career in this industry, or who are today's generation, I would say if you have a clear goal as to what you want to do in life, and you set a strategy how you would achieve that goal. You probably set in a timeline that, in this kind of a time frame, I will achieve this goal. It could be both short term or long term. And then a periodic check on yourself, how you are ensuring your personal development. So you keep a periodic check that, if I have set a goal for myself that I need to achieve it in 2 years, then every 2 months I am keeping a check as to, am I moving in the right direction. And one thing that we need to keep in mind is that our goals as humans is definitely not written in stone. So if 2 months, 6 months, 1 year down the line, I feel that probably I need to make some amendment in my goal, so be it. Maybe with time, like, I mean, before COVID, probably we had very different goals. But today, I think just mere survival may be a goal for somebody. So what is it that the person is doing for the survival? So accordingly, um, you identify your goal, you identify a timeline to that goal, you have your strategies, and then you break down to task as to how you're going to achieve. I guess this is a simple mantra for success. It has worked for me for all these years, and I'm sure it would work for those of you who are listening to me today.
With
I
this
truly
answer,
agree, ma'am. But ma'am, here I would honestly like to add one question from my personal end.
Yes, sir.
Many a times we hear that stay with positive people, have positivity around you, don't stay with negative people. But every company you go to, not only the hotel industry, every company, in fact, in our personal life also, you have negative and positive both people. So people start judging you when you say anything, and everyone is happy also and sad also. Every situation comes in life. But I have seen that officially people start judging you on the basis of that. So that's my personal matlab, like what I have seen and personally realized. So, and HR definitely is the one place of contact when you go and just bring all your problems and discuss it. So it doesn't it become difficult for you ever to handle the both the situations, balancing the, because you definitely, when a HOD is coming to you, he or she is also right. But when an employee is coming to you, he or she is also right. Both have different views, but both of them are correct. So
but
how do
Archana,
you do that?
I
It
will,
becomes very difficult for the HR department, what I personally feel is.
Archana, I will add one more thing to it. Like, HRs are also an employee, but every time everybody forgets that we are also employee and we also face the similar kind of people.
You have only hired us, no? You have only hired us. So how can we take you as an employee?
Okay, so you mean that we are the
So, yes, I mean, yeah, definitely. Even as HR head, even today when I am a GM HR, however heavier the title may be, at the end of the day, even I am the employee of, the Lalit Suri Hospitality Group. But yes, I mean, we represent the management, and when we are representing the management, um, we there is lots that is there on our shoulder. You know,
I
typically,
agree.
again on the lighter side, if I would say, many feel HR job is just to have Rangoli festivals and Diwali festivals, etc., etc. But it is only in time of need do you understand the importance of HR.
Yes.
And in today's time, COVID time, people are realizing how critical the role of HR is. That is one. Second is, when things go wrong in an organization, then you realize the importance of HR. As long as things are moving smooth,
Correct.
I however good the HR leader may be, politics will always be there. Where there are people,
Yeah.
there will be politics,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And Archana, as you rightly said, be it home front or be it the work front, politics is something which is, I guess, gossiping is our nature. So I think we can't overrule that. And thanks to these various Hindi serials that come across, I think that pollute your minds even further. But I mean, in the interest of time, I think what I would say is that you have to be as fair as transparent as possible. So you have to, as an HR head or as the management, wherein you are handling such a situation wherein you are saying that the manager, when you hear the manager, you feel manager is right. When
True.
you hear the employee, you feel the employee is right. But then you need to see beyond. You need to see and understand what has been unsaid also. You need to be able to read that, understand that, and do a detailed thorough investigation, and not just because a senior has said so it is right. That approach should not be there.
True.
So when employees start seeing that you are holding a responsible position, you are fair and transparent. So if
Yes.
a manager is wrong, he is wrong, and the company would still maintain the stand and would take the same disciplinary action, that had the employee done that same mistake, the punishment would be the same. So when the employees start seeing that, the fairness from the management, they start believing in the system and the culture, and thus the confidence and trust level automatically starts setting in.
Automatically.
it,
Correct.
it it takes time to build the culture. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen.
True. Harsha, we can't hear you. You need to unmute yourself.
sorry.
Yeah.
I was saying HRs are also employees. Just keep that thing in mind. Because they face similar kind of problems. Okay. All right. So, ma'am, my another question is like, how one should manage or streamline their career goals? Though you have already covered this in my previous question, but I would like to repeat it for all the audience, especially the students who are connected with us today. So, I would like you to just reiterate it once again for them.
So especially for students, I mean, yes, it is definitely a tough year for you, because some companies have rolled back the offer letters. Some companies have postponed the offers. Yes, couple of months for the freshers, those who are graduating this year, it is definitely going to be tough. And what I would suggest is utilize this opportunity in terms of building upon your own self. You know, whether as basic as your physical being, so you are taking care of your health, simple exercises, right diet, yoga, meditation, whatever suits you, do that, or enhance your skills, enhance your knowledge. I mean, thanks to the electronic media, I mean, there is so wealth of knowledge available on the internet. Utilize that. Keep some time for your Netflix, no problem with that. But at least an hour or 2 hours, at least an hour, if not more, spend on some learning. That will definitely help you. So you make yourself stronger, so that few months down the line, when you are sitting across an interview, you can proudly say that how effectively have you utilized this COVID period for your benefit.
Right. So I hope all the students who are connected with us got an idea how to streamline your career goals and should at least spend an hour on your learnings. Okay,
And
ma'am.
Harsha here, sorry, if I would just take a minute more here, the students may be feeling that, they are unfortunate, they are passing out this year and the crisis has happened and this and that. But let me tell you, at this point of time, you are young, you are 21, 22. You probably have no liabilities. You have parents who can take care of you. Imagine employees who have been working and they have a family. They're probably the only breadwinner and they have lost their job. So it's even harder for them. So I think if you think of those employees, probably it will motivate you to develop on yourself.
Okay. So I hope now people are cleared on this thought. So now we'll have a rapid fire round very quickly where I'll gonna
Wow.
ask questions and that'll be very
I think
interesting.
I think the listeners must be hungry. It's lunchtime.
I think they can manage all this because you're
We can't let you go without answering these questions.
Okay, please.
so, ma'am, have you ever faced any situation during all this while where you were working in HR? Have you ever felt that you should be in some other department or you should have opted anything else as your career option?
I think that's an easy one. In this COVID time, from March till now, I don't know how many times I have said to myself that I hate being in HR. I wish I was in some other profession, because when an employee is guilty or has done a misconduct and you are asking the person to go, you have a reason to speak to that person. But in this given situation, when it's actually the survival of the company is at stake. So not that the management is getting any. If the management had any other option available, they would have taken that. But in this given tough times, when you have to tell an employee that we have to part ways, whether temporarily or permanently, this is the toughest situation for an HR person.
Okay. What is your favorite vertical in HR?
Um, Favorite vertical in HR? I guess recruitments, interviews. I love taking interviews and understanding the person. I mean, at times it is ironical that, in those 10, 15, 20 minutes, you make your decision about the candidate. But I think what the candidate doesn't realize that, when uh, an HR professional would read through the resume first, will understand and prepare his questions accordingly, so that I utilize my those 10, 15, 20 minutes that I have with the candidate appropriately. And sometimes they're real fun interviews. Sometimes you get such freak candidates and interesting candidates that there's certain interviews that you still remember that, oh, wow, I love that answer that the individual gave.
You
So
would like to
I guess
share any of
interviews,
the interview? Any such situation, ma'am?
I guess that may not be fair to speak on this
No
platform.
big deal. No big
but
deal.
but be it campus interviews or one-on-one interviews, I think this is my favorite arena.
Okay. So next is adventure or luxury holidays.
Adventure.
On that note, we have couple of your photos with us. Archana, would you like to show them?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You've been stalking on me.
Yeah.
So I have come to know many things in this last 1 month about you.
She's the one who was stalking you.
Ah, that's telling Uti.
Okay.
That's with the elephant is in Munnar.
All right. That seems so interesting.
This is something very, I believe, risky. You were
Yeah,
not
with the safety
trying to
harness,
this is like Khatron Ka Khiladi, ma'am.
climbing the wall was. I don't know whether you managed to capture the picture when I had to start. I was with folded hands telling, I don't want to do this. But then I managed to do it and it was fun. It was fun.
Yes.
All right.
And one of the
Mo-
passion which you and me both have together is driving. And I captured this photo, which is so really.
Oh,
So this was
lovely.
a like, fun drive alone, which I like to do many a times. So it was
This one incidentally was not a fun drive alone. This is when I was with Crown Plaza Greater Noida. This is part of the pre-opening team. And we had, in June, we have something called a service week.
yes.
Not we, as yes, IHG has service week. And that time we had taken our team, we were about, I think 28 of us. So we had 3 Audis and we had driven to Taj Mahal, Agra. So I was driving and so I just managed to get this opportunity to get clicked alone. But it was fun. We went to Taj, we had dinner, lunch at Mughal Sheraton and we came back. It was a beautiful experience. Employees really relished that moment.
wow.
Yeah.
I wish I was a
And
part
this
of.
one is
Yeah.
Munnar. This is Sita Devi Road. I don't watch Netflix at all. So movie in theater, I would love that.
Cooking or
Don't
Swiggy.
get as much opportunity. So
Okay.
yeah,
Next is cooking yourself or Swiggy or Zomato.
cooking myself.
Okay.
You would be surprised to know I've never ordered on Swiggy or Zomato.
Is it?
Really? That is
I,
something really surprising.
I'm a very ancient person. I don't like all these platforms.
Okay. One
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
person you always look up to.
One person I'd always look up to. In fact, there are many. I mean, I would say to begin with, my parents, especially my mother. I mean, she has seen a lot of hardship, so a lot of encouragement and learning I get from her. My children, both my sons. I mean, they're very focused and determined what they want to do, and they've been whatever was their passion, they have gone into those fields. Um, of late is, as I said, Sadhguruji and Gaur Gopal Das. In terms of yoga, even Baba Ramdev, the way he has progressed and his organization, Patanjali. From the corporate world, I would say there are many. I mean, do you really want to listen to all? Um,
Okay, but then you
well,
have a very interesting list as you have
so from the corporate world, I would say Mr. Ratan Tata, Mr. Miss Indra Nui, Ms. Sudha Murthy, and currently my current boss, my chairperson, Dr. Jyotsna Suri. I mean, she's an iron lady, and it is fun to work with her.
okay, and your choice of attires. So whether it's sari or a business suit.
That I guess is no secret. I love wearing saris.
Okay, so below you have to or you'll have career and money.
Sorry, I lost you halfway. Can you repeat the question?
Okay, so below in the order of your priorities: meditation, family, vacation, money, or career?
Family, of course, and vacation with family again. Then vacation, meditation, career, money at the last.
Money. Okay. Rate yourself on below in a scale of 1 to 5. Health habits.
Sorry,
Health habits.
health habits. Um, I would say 3. I'm developing. I do practice yoga and meditation, but I'm not regular, so I'm still on my path to hit a 5.
Okay. Current affairs.
2.5.
Okay. Social media network. It is huge, I know.
Social media again 3. So it's off and on. At times I'm active. At times I go into hibernation. So
Okay.
off and on.
All right. And sense of humor.
Sense of humor. I don't know. I think I'm a very pretty serious person. People fear coming to me is what I hear. So that's not a good thing.
Is it?
Uh,
Okay. I just can't agree on this because I never felt frightened coming to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So now I'll give you certain words where you'll have to give any one word which comes into your mind after hearing those. HR,
People,
career,
development,
confidence,
100%.
God,
God fearing.
rewards,
Sorry, say again.
rewards,
Required.
employees,
Uh, Most critical resource of any organization.
okay, mobile.
I wish I can throw it away.
That was interesting. Politics,
Hate it.
nepotism,
Again, hate it.
female empowerment, women empowerment.
Required, I guess. I mean, though somewhere I feel that the gender differentiation should not really be there. But considering that females are in minority, there is a lot that needs to be done in terms of gender diversity and in terms of empowerment. So when it comes to breaking the glass ceiling, it does become difficult. But I guess that is primarily because of the statistics. I mean, if you see the male-female ratio, that itself is so badly messed up that not much can be done. But yes, required. And I guess that's why I have these two leaders that I really get inspired. As I said, Indra Nooyi and Sudha Murthy.
Mhm.
So,
Okay. Thank
during
you so
Women's
much
Day,
for
during Women's Day, ma'am, during Women's Day, we did one research again, and really, I was surprised to know that only 17% of our women in today's time. Also, this was 2019 figures, that we have only 17% females in the hotel industry.
Yeah. Which is sad, but it is growing. And now with this flexibility coming in, I think COVID comes as a blessing in disguise. So the moment we have flexibility in the contracts, I'm sure the numbers will start increasing. Women who had taken sabbatical because of family reasons, they will get an opportunity to get employed and come back to work.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am, for all your
Thank you.
valuable time and answers. But now, the time where I'll give this opportunity to all my audience in case if you have any questions which you want to ask from Neeta ma'am, you are open to ask your queries.
And by the time we receive the questions, I believe we have Mr. Ravinder Sharma personally here. So, sir, we already showed your special video to ma'am, and I'm sure you both can connect, as this is the correct platform to connect again with each other after years.
Great to hear. Meeting her roughly 16, 17 years. The growth has been immense. At the same time, what is Nita all about is down to earth. At the same time, the right word in the bottom line I would like to mention, people, management, with the heart, actually same like a coconut. She's so tough because she knows results. But at the same time, she's so friendly to walk in. And she has put down over there her adventure word is in both worlds. There is nature, she wants to go abroad, outside. But at the same time, she wants to adventure with the people because she has given many a chance to those, especially when you have put down over there women power. She has tried plenty of places, giving an opportunity for those, giving those chances when at that time there might be a management looking at it, is it sure? And then she felt, and she has made that career development of those, some of the specific in her area, wherever she got an opportunity, whether it was Eros, whether it is going to be an Radisson and BD and at that time of it. That's what exactly is Nita all about. So what we love about her is there is a smile with all that toughness. She has already given that moment by saying her parental and especially mom's hardship. She's converting. When you have, Archana has pointed out 17% in 2019, but her contribution is equally great wherever she got an opportunity. She was very fair. Archana is one of the part of it. Yes, if I see the long run of it.
Yes.
If I see go round of it. You see, Archana, that's what exactly I tried to talk about it.
I'm coming back to her.
Yeah. So what Nita is all about is, Nita is not about what she's on the seat, but she is exactly, when she has used the word called Sudha Murti, a small child of a school still reading the book, and the lady who clearly still she remembers, she is the first lady in a Tata group to take over as the job after what the male dominant area was. Yeah, so she has got already in a focus over there, the clarity over there, and she has clearly said that the career and especially interview taking, and that is what she makes a decision about. So I love her and I give her best my wishes, giving her the chance that, okay, she has taken up from Sterling, from ISG area group. So she has got lots of experience with an international, she has already pointed out the lady at this time called Iron lady called Dr. Jyotsna Suri. Her statement in BW, that is the business world, specified even in one sentence by saying that improved destinations, automatically the hotels will come.
Absolutely.
So how exactly focused she is, and she is under the umbrella of the same. So it is going to be two different ladies. One in HR is an iron lady, and there's an iron lady who's actually is an entrepreneur with a risk taking. And she's a very bold person. Dr. Jyotsna Suri is with the competition in the market. When we are talking, when Oberoi talks about every year we are opening a hotel, IHG has got a plan of opening hotel. 8% growth of the Radisson group is coming over. Standing strong, competing with these kind of things are called focus, and these are the actual people, and Nita goes very well over there, and because understanding and focus perfectly in a right gelling, and that's what exactly goes. And I'm appreciating the situation what Archana has given on a platform. Nita is getting connected with present scenario. The children who are watching it at present over there, they should be very ready with an understanding. We have already got one line when our parents or elders were talking about save something for the rainy day. This has come as a rainy day. What we have saved, now we have to apply it. We have to very judicially use the things and reserves.
Yeah.
And this is a time when you should come out of it. We are talking about Pandavas in Mahabharata with 5 people winning with 100 brothers. That's what we are talking about, patience. And that's what she has pointed out. Putting it up over there, that impulsive behavior, career growth, it is all around over there. But yes, you do your job. At the same time, the returns will come. How it is going to come, there is an appraisal, follow up, what the HR does it, which is a very loving part of it, that they know it, what is happening, and they have given empowerment to the right people. Department supervisors, eventually they talk, and very nicely, Nita has just put down that Lalit has got the people on psychology. I love to hear these kind of things which were never, it was something in an old timing, nobody talks about it. And a psychiatrist on a board, this is a challenging situation where the organizations have to think from out of the boxes. And I'm very well agree with Nita at this stage of a time. Don't be impulsive, wait, patience, and the what organization can do it. If I really see a crossover there, no earning despite of that, whatever they can do, organizations are trying their best. I'm not forcing, but at the same time understanding their present conditions. And I love to hear and would like to connect with Nita and the Archuna's platform,
Sure, sir.
beautiful platform, and
Definitely.
excellent hearing, very good queries, and
Thank you so much,
very
sir.
good, Harsha. She has kept it, the query going on, connecting with her, bringing out the questions. Excellent. I should say thank you very much to Archana.
Thank you
And
so
Nita,
much.
it's a pleasure. Looking
you so much, sir.
via the virtual approach over there,
Thank
despite of that, once we get across, we'll have a coffee together at
Definitely.
24/7.
Look forward to
Ma'am,
It's
here
an
we
honor
Acknowledge
to
me.
meet you virtually today after so many years.
Yes. Great to hear. And students, they should be focused at
And,
present of it.
Harshita, I think it is probably to do with the new normal. I think for our service industry, being in close contact with the guest, that was of prime importance earlier. But now in the given times, it will be contactless services that we are looking at. For our industry, smile was the most important thing, but now it gets covered under a mask. But getting that smile into our tone and into our speech, I think that will be the jobs of the trainers to help the employees get that piece right. And the new normal, which is whatever the contactless services are in terms of hygiene, in terms of safety, in terms of ID. I mean, ID will have a big role to play now in ensuring that the touch points are reduced. I think in one of the articles I had read, there are 222 touch points that a guest goes through. And now as hotels, we are looking at eliminating those and ensuring that guest gets a complete safe service. So training our people in that regard and ensuring. As small thing as probably an Aarti Tikka that used to happen in now in COVID times, I don't think so that will happen anymore. In terms of shaking hands, I mean now it is namaskar, which is great as an Indian culture also, and that we promote namaskar. But yeah, these are the new normals, and soon we will get used to it. Thank you for the question, Harshit. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, we have one question from Mr. Naval Bhandari, which is, I am sure we have already spoken about it, but he has asked it in the chat box, so I'll address it once again. How HR department is addressing the issue of leave without pay and even of exiting of employees from company and communicating positively to the loyal employees? This, I believe, is some question which is different from company to company.
Yes, it is different, but yet it is the reality for every organization. In some companies, they have clearly laid off people. In some companies, they have sent employees on loss of pay. And I think the best way of communicating, as we've been saying, be as transparent. So what we have done is we have organized a face-to-face meeting with the employee. If that was not possible in the COVID time, then getting onto a conference call with the employee, sharing the reality and sharing the situation that, why such a drastic step is important and inevitable. We don't have a choice, because if the organization survives, we will survive. So therefore, such drastic steps have been taken, and I guess letting the individual know that these are the tough times, and should they find something interesting in the meanwhile, they can move on and rest as and when things stabilize. We would be happy to take you back. And I guess, I mean, especially for the Lalit, I can say that, that would be the situation with us, that at this point of time, unfortunately, we could not manage the cost because there's zero revenue. I mean, at this point of time, if you look at statistics, I think 85% of the hospitality industry is minus 100% of their revenue, 100% of their revenue which they were earning. It's only few. I mean, like I said, our Lalit Mumbai, Lalit Delhi, we have the COVID warriors, the doctors staying with us. So some bit of money is trickling in, but that is not enough to take care of the expenses of running an organization, and thus such drastic measures. So if the employees understand, Naval, so I'm sure you would have done that with your company and done that transparent chat with the employees. Even employees understand. Everyone understand that this is a global situation and not anything specific to one organization. It is not specific to anyone. It is the reality at this point of time.
Great. Thank you so much, ma'am. Again, Mayurakshi, I'm so sorry if I pronounced the name wrong. She is asking one of a question which I'm sure many of the people think about this, not only the college students but the freshers, associates. In fact, when associate jump from associate level to executive in another company, the same question comes. The question is that we have, during the interview, every HR manager or director HR, everyone says that please feel free to ask questions, whatever you want to ask. So what type of questions should the person giving interview should ask to get more clarity about the organization?
Oh, first of all, Mayurakshi, beautiful name and a very interesting question.
Yes.
So,
Thank you, ma'am.
So if I understand that right, you are saying that as a candidate, what question should you ask the organization?
I'm not exactly. Ma'am, I just want to ask that many a times I've heard the same, but is it actually practical at being so junior and HR is very senior to you, and at the same time you are cross questioning them? So is it practical, and is it is it taken pessimistically or optimistically by the organization? That is the main question. Because I am just an intern right now in hospitality industry, so I come across many of the webinars and many of the seminars, and everybody says like you have to ask questions to the HR. So whether it's practical or not.
I wish we had time. I could have asked you a few questions here, and it would have been very interesting. But I, in the interest of time, I will answer your question. Mayurakshi, I think it's a beautiful question, and I think it will be beneficial for all who are there on the call today. That yes, as an individual, I mean, there is nothing to do with how senior a person is sitting in front of you. At the end of the day, you are taking a decision to join an organization. So would you be, and you will be spending anywhere from 9 to 12 hours in that organization on a daily basis. So would you be getting the right kind of environment? Would you be getting what you are looking at? The interviewer may have a different expectation and you may have a different expectation as a candidate. So unless we have that open conversation wherein our expectations match and then we take a sound decision. So it is both ways. I mean, it is not only for an employer that you are selected or rejected. It is as a candidate whether the organization, do you select to join that organization or not, at the end of the day, you are going to give your valuable time to the company. So you should rightly ask the questions. Yeah, in terms of arguments and all that, what your apprehension that you have is cross questioning. I would say be diplomatic in the way you're asking your question, but be as clear and transparent. So supposing as simple as that, I mean, if you want to join a hospitality industry and you say that I can't work beyond 9 hours, or I can work only in a particular shift. For example, if this is the kind of person you are, and if you don't ask this question, and tomorrow I put you on a night shift, it will be a disaster. You will run away. So
Definitely.
questions are a sign of curiosity. Intelligent questions. The questions are a sign that yes, you are interested in the organization and you are interested in the employment. So it is not just that you have been called, so you are sitting in front of the interviewer.
Thank you so much, ma'am. There are many
Sure,
questions.
ma'am. Thank you so much.
Short of time, I will just take one more last question and then we can wind it up. Nihesh, if you can just come up and ask your question. Nihesh, are you there?
Very good afternoon. Yes, ma'am, I'm here. Very good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Neesh Mathur. I just hope things are very good at your end. Ma'am, my question is, how will the hiring process and the pattern will change post COVID-19?
Nivesh, I think we already answered that question. That first of all, hiring may be a complete freeze at this point of time. But going forward, there would be a lot of flexibility in the employment contracts and the so basis the need of the hour. I guess Nihesh, there would be a lot of changes will definitely come in. So probably companies would not now be looking at a full-time opportunities also. So basis that the hiring would change. And again, as I already mentioned, that being an HR, utilize this time in terms of making a quality database.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. With this, I will just wrap up the session, not taking much of your time. I have already taken a lot of time. I think Harsha has gone with some important call. So from her present company, she has just received a call. So on behalf of me and Revner's team, which has, I'm not sure my both colleagues are there from Revner's. If Amit and Bhavani both are there, they can just say namaskar to ma'am. I think Bhavani has left, but Amit is still there. So Amit, if you would just like to come and say your regards to ma'am. Ma'am, they both are one of my very good friends who have supported me a lot in starting Revner's, and then motivated me to start initiative of RevTalk. So I'm sure we all were working together in Lalit, and now it's been more than 14 years we know each other, and now it's a family, not a friends only. So
and trust me, you're doing a great job.
Thank you so
much. You and Harsha together are doing a great job. Lovely. I've watched your previous 2 interviews also. But you really have put in your heart and soul into it. So
thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for the lovely opportunity given to me.
Thank you so much.
I hope the listeners had some takeaways from this conversation.
Definitely. Yeah.
And my closing message would of course be stay safe, take care of yourself and your family, and trust me, these definitely are difficult times, but this time is a true reality check for each one of us. So utilize it to the best, and in times to come, the optimism will come back, positivity will come back, and hospitality business will again start roaring back and falling into action.
True. We all will pass this time together. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thank you very much.